Hey guys, welcome to the channel. In this video is my Premier League predictions for game week 25. Game week 24 was an exciting weekend full of interesting results. Manchester United beating Fulham by 3 goals to 2. Chelsea also did a comeback beating West Ham United in a London derby by 3 goals to 2. Man City also got a 2-2 draw. Liverpool managed to beat Newcastle by 4 goals to 1 and so forth. Well, going to this game week 25, I'm looking out for spot on predictions in game week 25. Guys, as you know, it's been a long time I posted a prediction video, and well, life happens. 2026, I didn't start on a good note, but well, I'm back again. I'm hope not to miss out on any of the following game week. So without wasting much of time, let's get started with the game week 25 predictions. So starting off, the game week 25 prediction at Elland Road is between Leeds United versus Nottingham Forest. These are two teams. One is on 16th position. That's Leeds United is now 16th on the Premier League table with 26 points minus of 11 goals. And Nottingham Forest is also 17th on the league table with 26 points minus of 11 goals. So looking at Leeds United in game 24, they lost 4-1 to Arsenal. And well, Nottingham Forest managed to get a 1-1 draw in game 24. Going to this game will be a very tough and a very difficult game for both sides. But well, first leg at the City Ground, Nottingham Forest managed to get a 3-1 victory over Leeds United. And well, going to this second leg at the Elland Road, what do I think is going to happen? Well, because Nottingham Forest have not been on a bad run, and looking at Leeds United, they've also been on some good runs. The last 3 games, they've lost only one, which was against Arsenal, and they've had a couple of draws. And Nottingham Forest too hasn't been that bad. So going to this game, I will not be shocked if this game ends in a draw. What is my score prediction? I'm predicting this game to end in a 2-1 victory for Nottingham Forest, but I will not be shocked if this game ends in a 1-1 draw. But my score prediction is a 2-1 victory for Nottingham Forest. Moving on to the next game at the Old Trafford Stadium is between Manchester United versus Tottenham Hotspur. This is one of the most difficult games coming up in game 25 in the Premier League. United hosting Tottenham Hotspur at the Old Trafford Stadium. Talking about Manchester United, in the last 3 games in the Premier League have managed to win all these 3 games. They beat the likes of Arsenal, they beat the likes of Manchester City, and their last game beat Fulham by 3 goals to 2, which it was last minute that they got that winner. And I think United, since Carrick took over, he has been on an impressive run. And going to this game, if they are able to beat Tottenham Hotspur, it means Manchester United have gone on 4 consecutive victories on the Premier League table. And well, looking at them too, right now, Manchester United is now 4th on the league table with 41 points plus of 8 goals. Talking about Tottenham Hotspur, they are also 14th on the league table with 29 points plus of 2 goals as it stands in game 24. Going into this game at the Old Trafford, Manchester United, as already said, in their last game they played in the game 24, got a 3-2 victory over Fulham. And Tottenham Hotspur too, in their last game they played in game 24, got a 2-2 draw against Manchester City. So this is going to be an interesting game at the Old Trafford. The first leg of this game at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium ended in a 2-2 draw. And going into this game, what do I think is going to happen? I think this is going to be a very difficult game. Despite Manchester United have been on a good run, Tottenham Hotspur is a team that in their last 5 games with Manchester United, United are not able to beat Tottenham Hotspur. So it will be interesting to see them lose or to see Manchester United win the game. Since they have even been on the 3 consecutive wins, I think this is where they will either flip or drop points against Tottenham Hotspur. What is my score prediction? Well, I'm predicting Tottenham Hotspur to get a 1-0 victory over Manchester United. Tottenham Hotspur 1, Manchester United 0. Moving on to the next game at the Emirates Stadium in game 25 is between Arsenal versus Sunderland. This is going to be an interesting game coming up in game 25. In the first leg of this game at the Stadium of Light, it ended in a 2-2 draw between Sunderland and Arsenal. And in the return leg at the Emirates Stadium, what do I think is going to happen? Looking at Arsenal, Right now, they are still leading the Premier League table with 53 points plus of 29 goals. Looking at Sunderland, they are also 8th on the Premier League table with 36 points plus of 1 goal as it stands in game 24. Going to this game in game 25, Arsenal is coming from a 4-0 victory over Leeds United in game 24, and Sunderland is coming from a 3-0 victory over Burnley in game 24. Both teams got wins in their last game in the Premier League, and despite Arsenal also playing the EFL Cup that they play against Chelsea, they got the 1-0 victory over Chelsea. So going to this game, Arsenal in the last 3 Premier League games, they've won 1, lost 1, and drew 1. So it is interesting going into this game. I think Sunderland this season has been a very stubborn team to beat, and it will be interesting that Arsenal will beat them hands down. But I think Arsenal will get a result against Sunderland after all. So what is my score prediction going into this game? Despite Arsenal drawing the first leg, I think this second encounter, Arsenal will try their possible best to get all the 3 maximum points if they really want to win this EPL. Well, going into this game, I'm predicting Arsenal to get a 2-1 victory over Sunderland, but I will not be shocked if this game also ends in a 1-1 draw. But my prediction is Arsenal 2, Sunderland 1. Moving on to the next game at the Vitality Stadium in game 25 is between AFC Bournemouth versus Aston Villa. While looking at these two teams, Aston Villa at the moment, they are 3rd on the Premier League table with 46 points plus of 9 goals. And talking about AFC Bournemouth, they are also 12th on the league table with 33 points minus of 3 goals as it stands in game 24. Going into this game, Aston Villa is coming from a 1-0 loss against Brentford in game 24, and AFC Bournemouth is also coming from a 2-0 victory over Wolves in game 24. And looking at AFC Bournemouth, I think in their last 2 Premier League games, they've got 2 consecutive wins. They won against Liverpool and they won against Wolves. So going to this game against Aston Villa, a team who has been on a brilliant form but just lost their last game, is going to be interesting at the Vitality Stadium. What do I think is going to happen? The first leg of this game at the Villa Park, Aston Villa managed to get a 4-0 victory over AFC Bournemouth. Can Bournemouth get back a win or even get back a possible 1 point from this game? Probably yes. What do I think is going to happen? My score prediction in this game is going to be a 2-2 draw. AFC Bournemouth 2, Aston Villa 2. Yes, moving on to the next game at the 12th mall in game 25 is between Burnley versus West Ham United. Going to this game is between 18th on the league table versus 19th on the league table. This looks like a relegation battle, but well, going to this game, West Ham is coming from a 3-2 loss against Chelsea in game 24. And well, Burnley too is coming from a 3-0 loss against Sunderland in game 24. These are two teams who lost their games in game 24. What do I think is going to happen at the 12th mall going to this game in game 25? First leg, West Ham United managed to get a 3-2 victory over Burnley. Could they get another win over Burnley? Well, it's going to be interesting at the 12th mall. Looking at the league table, Burnley is now 19th with 15 points minus of 20 goals. And West Ham United is also 18th on the league table with 20 points minus of 22 goals as it stands in game 24. What is my score prediction going to this game at the 12th mall? Well, I'm predicting West Ham United to get a victory over Burnley. My score prediction in this game is going to be a 2-0 victory for West Ham United. West Ham United 2, Burnley 0. Moving on to the next game at the Craven Cottage in game 25 is between Fulham versus Everton. This is going to be an interesting game coming up in game 25. In the first leg of this game, Everton managed to get a 2-0 victory over Fulham. And while going to the second encounter at the Craven Cottage, what do I think is going to happen? Well, looking at both teams on the league table as it stands in game 24, Everton is now 10th on the league table with 34 points minus of 1 goal. Fulham is also now 9th on the league table with 34 points minus of 1 goal as it stands in game week 24. So, talking about Fulham, in game week 24, they lost 3-2 against Manchester United, and Everton also managed to get a 1-1 draw against Brighton in game week 24. What is my score prediction going into this game at the Craven Cottage? Well, since Everton won the first leg by 2 goals to 0, can they get another victory or even get a point out of this game? Well, it's going to be very difficult. Looking at how Fulham played against Manchester United in game 24, I think going to this game, it will be either a win or draw for Fulham. So my score prediction is going to be a 2-1 victory for Fulham. Fulham to Everton 1. But I will not be shocked if this game also ends in a 1-1 draw. Moving on to the next game at the Molineux Stadium in game 25 is between Wolves versus Chelsea. This is going to be a very difficult game going into this game for Wolves in game 25. Talking about Wolves, in game 24, they lost 2-0 against AFC Bournemouth, and Chelsea also in the London derby managed to get a 3-2 victory over West Ham United. Looking at both teams on the league table as it stands in game week 24, Chelsea is now 5th on the Premier League table with 40 points plus of 15 goals. Talking about Wolves, they are also now 20th at the bottom, already relegated with just 8 points out of 24 games, minus of 30 goals as it stands in game week 24. What do I think is going to happen at the Molineux Stadium coming up in game week 25? Because in the first leg, Chelsea managed to get a 3-0 victory. Can Chelsea get another victory even with a clean sheet? Possibly, yes. Because looking at how Chelsea and their new coach, how he has set up his team, they've only lost 2 games, which are not even Premier League games. All the 2 games that, since he took over, the games that he has lost was against Arsenal in the EFL Cup. He lost 3-2 and lost 1-0. So, I mean, he has been on a good form. So, I think going to this game against no other than Wolves, it's a game that Chelsea is going to get a result. And looking at even how they managed to beat West Ham United, going 2-0 down, and later they come back and won that game by 3 goals to 2, tells you the mentality or the team he is building. So it's going to be interesting seeing Chelsea dropping points against Wolves. What is my score prediction going to this game? Well, I'm predicting Chelsea to get a 2-0 victory over Wolves. Chelsea 2, Wolves 0. Moving on to the next game at the St. James Park is between Newcastle United versus Brentford. This is going to be one of the difficult games coming up in game 25. Newcastle United hosting Brentford at the St. James Park. Well, talking about this game, the first leg ended in a 3-1 victory for Brentford. And well, Newcastle going back to the St. James Park to host Brentford. What do I think is going to happen? Looking at both teams on the league table as it stands in game 24, Brentford is now 7th on the Premier League table with 36 points plus of 4 goals. Talking about Newcastle United, they are also 11th on the league table with 33 points plus of 0 goal as it stands in game 24. And you know, in game 24, Newcastle United lost 4-1 against Liverpool, and Brentford also managed to get a 1-0 victory over informed Aston Villa, who is now 3rd on the Premier League table. So it tells you how good this Brentford team is. Going to this game at St. James Park, could they get another result or even get a point out of this game against Newcastle United? Possibly, yes. What is my score prediction? I'm predicting this game to end in a 1-1 draw, but I will not be shocked if Newcastle get a result or win this game. But my score prediction is going to be a 1-1 draw. Newcastle United 1, Brentford 1. Moving on to the next game at the Amex Stadium in game week 25 is between Brighton versus Crystal Palace. This is going to be an interesting game coming up in game week 25. Talking about Brighton, in game week 24 managed to get a 1-1 draw, and Crystal Palace also in game week 24 also got a 1-1 draw. Looking at both teams on the league table, Brighton at the moment, they are 13th on the league table with 31 points plus of 2 goals. Looking at Crystal Palace, they are also 15th on the league table with 29 points minus of 4 goals as it stands in game week 24. And well, Going to this game, in the first leg of this game ended in a boring 0-0 draw. Repeat itself at the Amex Stadium, possibly. Yes, talking about these two teams, despite they all draw their games in game week 24, and I will not be shocked if this game in game week 25 also ends in a draw, because the first leg also ended in a draw. But I think Brighton has a very good team that they can snatch a win against Crystal Palace. I'm predicting Brighton to at least get a win or draw against Crystal Palace since they are playing home at the Amex Stadium. My score prediction is going to be 2-1 victory for Brighton, but I will not be shocked if this game ends in a 1-1 draw. Moving on to the next game at Anfield is the game of the week in Premier League. Game of 25 is between Liverpool versus Manchester City. This is going to be an interesting game coming up in game week 25. Talking about Liverpool, in game week 24 managed to get a 4-1 victory over Newcastle United. And Manchester City also in game week 24 got a 2-2 draw against Nottingham in game week 24. Going to this game in game week 25 at the Anfield, Liverpool hosting Manchester City. Looking at the first leg of this game, ended in a 3-0 victory for Manchester City. And while looking at both teams on the league table as it stands in game week 24, Liverpool at the moment, they are sitting on the Premier League table with 39 points plus of 6 goals. And talking about Manchester City, they are also second on the league table with 47 points plus of 26 goals as it stands in game week 24. And while going to this game, is a must-win game for Manchester City since they even won the first leg by 3-0. And Liverpool, despite this season, they had a very brilliant start in their first 5 or 6 Premier League games, but after that, everything started falling apart for Liverpool. But while going to this game at Anfield is where we can say Liverpool can fight back, because in their last 2 Premier League games, they lost 3-2 against AFC Bournemouth, and they got 4-1 victory against Newcastle United. And talking about Manchester City, they also lost 2-0 against Manchester United and got a 2-2 draw against Tottenham Hotspur. And if City really want to challenge Arsenal for the title, this is the game that they can't afford to drop points. We're going to this game at the Anfield, Man City facing Liverpool. What is my score prediction? Well, I'm predicting this game to end in a 2-1 victory for Manchester City. Manchester City 2, Liverpool 1. Yeah, so guys, so these are my predictions for Premier League game week 25. Let me know your minds and your thoughts in the comment section. And guys, thank you for watching this video, because it's been a very long time since I posted a prediction video, or even I posted a video on my YouTube channel. So guys, stick with me. I didn't start the year 2026 on a high note, but well, I think I'm back and I'm going to be consistent with my videos. So please like, subscribe, and comment. Till we meet in another video. Bye bye for now.